My name is Pastor Ron C. Reagan, and I am the pastor of New Testament Baptist Church, where I've served there now for 9 years. What happened to my church is in January the 21st, around 3 o'clock, we had a tornado to come through the area, and of course, it was dark. So about 8 o'clock that morning, I received a call from Toby Barker, who was a representative then, who is now the mayor of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he asked me, have I been by the church? And I told him I had not, and he told me he had some good news and some bad news. The good news was the church was still standing. The bad news was we took a direct hit from the tornado, so it was a lot of damage. Of course, I got up, got dressed, and of course I had to maneuver my way to the church. And once I got to the church, it was a devastating sight, because where I once had 4 columns in the front of the church, there was only 2 there. I had a van that was completely destroyed. I had a wall that had bricks and then fell down. My 3rd floor roof was completely gone. So it was a pretty devastating reaction and look when I got there. When Kingdom Builders came on site, the interaction were the guys from Kingdom Builder approached me as the pastor and began to ask some questions concerning the building as far as the devastation. Prior to them asking that, they did build a personal rapport with me, introducing themselves. Later we did sit down to discuss some concepts or some procedures that go by to rebuild or to repair the building. Kingdom Builders not only met with me, but they also met with our church leadership board and our committee to let us know each and every step of the way what was taking place. Being a pastor, along with the board, we're kind of green in some areas when it comes to repairing and rebuilding a church. So what Kingdom Builders did, they did inform us of some areas that showed some concern that we would actually need more monies which were afforded or granted to us. So as they came in and assessed the area, they made it known to us that there were certain areas that would require more finances than the insurance company wanted to give. So they did assist us in that way. And again, we were able to get exactly what we needed for the rebuilding of a new facility. I would say to anyone who has faced any type of devastation, whether you're a church, whether you're a business, whether you have your resident, Kingdom Builders is a team you would want to go to, who would make sure that you know everything that you need to know and getting the maximum amount of money that you need to restore or to rebuild whatever business, whatever church, whatever home you may have lost through devastation.
My name is James A. Young. I'm pastor of Calvary Apostolic Faith Church, Louisville, Mississippi. Also the mayor of Philadelphia, Mississippi. What happened on April 14th, 2014 was probably one of the most devastating events that I've been involved with. F4 tornado blew through Louisville, Mississippi and destroyed all of our property, church, buildings, fellowship hall, and also a rural clinic that we sponsored. So it was very devastating, not only for our ministry, but for the city of Louisville. At that time, I don't think nobody is prepared for what you wake up the next day to see. Insurance-wise, structural-wise, moving forward-wise, we didn't have a clue at that day, on that day. A few days after, I met some of the Kingdom Builders who were surveying the scenes, and we connected. And my first thought was, how are we going to move the debris? And come to find out, I had debris removal on my insurance, but had never thought about it before. So going through this particular event taught me to prep in every way. We had to find a new building temporarily to house the ministry. We didn't want the members bouncing around from place to place. And we was able to find a local building, and during that time, the plans was in motion because of Kingdom Builders to get some plans for a new building in the same location, but a new building. And I appreciate those shoulders that I had to lean on at that time. With the help of Kingdom Builders, they brought in some plans, some ideas, architectural drawings, and we had to look at what funds we had available to make sure that the future plans fit the finances that we had. They went through several church meetings where they actually brought the plans to the members, and everyone looked at them, and then they gave us options. And I think after a storm or after any disaster, you need some options. You need to feel like you're in control, because some things you don't, but you need to feel like you're in control. And they made us feel that way. They were not overbearing. They was not demanding. They said, what do you want? Or what do you think you want out of this process? And I think that was key. It was no stress involved in that particular process. They made you feel like you are leading this, and it's your desires that we want to try to mesh with the funds that we have available. And of course, I didn't give them secrets out, because I always like to keep them guessing. But they were able to put a good plan together, and we've been smiling ever since.
My name is Mark Jordan, and I'm President and CEO of Kingdom Builders International. As President and CEO of Kingdom Builders, I have found in my experiences, which are pretty vast. I'm a retired Air Force veteran. I've worked in disaster recovery. I've worked in the telecom world. I've worked in government, in the engineering departments. I've also worked in the code enforcement side. So in my breadth of experience, putting all that together, and also working in the church and with the church, I have a passion to help the church. God has called myself, as well as the Kingdom Builders team, to assist the church in assisting the communities. What I've come across in my years of service to others, especially with the church, is that the church is ill-prepared. Most businesses are ill-prepared to deal with the issues after natural disasters and or just incidents of things that they have no control over, i.e. fires. So what Kingdom Builders, what we want to do is come and take more proactive measures i.e. prior to a disaster, Kingdom Builders would like to come in and review insurance policies to make sure that the appropriate things are covered and that churches and businesses are covered at the appropriate levels. We offer a myriad of services. We do design, build, we do pre and post, we do abatement, we do demolition. We have architects on hand that can fulfill the dreams of any congregation, but primarily what Kingdom Builders is designed to do is help the community. And helping the church, in helping the church, we help the community. Kingdom Builders wants to come in during times of crisis and even during times of non-crisis. If a church needs a rebuild, if church wants to expand their ministries, because what Kingdom Builders is designed to do from its core, from its heart, is to help the community. And understanding that this basic principle, that if we help the church, we help the community. The Bible says in Matthew 16 and 18, and I'm paraphrasing, and with Peter, when Jesus is talking about Peter, that upon this rock, the foundation shall be built. And that Kingdom Builders, we want to be that foundation for the church to be built upon. Because at the end of the day, Kingdom Builders is designed to build the church so that we can build communities. And when we build communities, we build people. And when we build people, we build a better community. The Kingdom Builders wants to come in during times of chaos and bring peace and calm to situations where pastors and leaders in the community are often befuddled and often bewildered. And Kingdom Builders wants to come in and be that hand of God to do what God would have us to do, and then serve His people through the church.